Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate your time because we realise it's a Saturday afternoon. There could be lots of other things that you could be doing, so your presence here is very much appreciated. Thank you for being here. First of all, I'd just like to thank our volunteers. Our organisation is a non-profit organisation, and obviously focusing on spreading awareness about water fluoridation. But it's based on people like yourselves. The volunteers that we have are people that are putting the effort to get the information together and spread it out. So first of all, I probably appreciate all guys that are on the outside doing all the hard work. Now, just a couple of formalities. We've got obviously the exits that are labelled in case any emergencies happen. Our toilets are just across the hall, the way you came in. It's on the opposite side. But let's not listen to me for too long. We've got Dr. Geoff here, who will be the presenter today. Dr. Geoff is a scientist. He's specialising in toxicology. He's a researcher of water fluoridation for a number of years now. Not sure how many, but it's quite a number of years. He is a part of FAN network, Fluoridation network, and he's written a number of scientific papers which are available on ResearchGate. It's actually shared by about 8 million scientists, so it's a good place to visit if you actually want to find out a bit more scientific information about the issue. So before I hand it over to Dr. Payne, I'd like to remind everyone, if you can, sign a petition if you haven't already done so. We are planning to have the petition handed over to the Parliament in the next few months. We have a number of politicians that are becoming aware of the issue and are requesting more information, so we definitely win on this front, but it's a long work, so it does only work with your support, with your petition, with your signatures being behind the issue. And of course, we've got a sheet where you can leave your name, and there's a discussion about a political party that we mainly support that will be campaigning on an issue of water fluoridation or anti-water fluoridation. So if you have any interest in that, you can leave your name and tick the box. We'll keep you informed on that front as well. And of course, if you haven't tried, a little donation would be very good. We do appreciate all the money, which are going straight back into the campaign. No one takes any money for any other reason, but it's straight to the campaign to print the promoting material, to get people like Dr. Payne across, and to cover all the modest expenses that we have connected directly to the campaign. So we do appreciate every single coin. And without much further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Payne. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Derek, and especially to Fluoride Free Western Australia inviting me to speak to you, and to the campaign in a number of towns. I'm doing about 9 gigs in Western Australia, and a special thanks to John and Bev Watt, who have looked after me in marvellous fashion since last night, and much appreciated. So I'll just end this cycling one. We've got too much material really to get through, but these slides will be available on the ResearchGate website for you to download for free at any time should you want to go through and look at the material or use it, or source the reference material, read further. So it's designed really as a pointer to further study. Good, thanks. I'll get loaded with the impact. This one? No impact. Gizmo here. Excellent. So this one won't be flashing at you until I change the slide, but I'm going to focus on the very beginning of us all and the need to protect the fetus and the impact of fluoride on women. And I don't want the men in the audience to feel left out, because your sperm are damaged by fluoride. It's an absolute fact that the mitochondria that provide the energy for swimming spermatozoa is damaged by low level exposure, and is possibly part of the overall trend worldwide for male fertility has been on continuous decline now for some decades, and it's just one of the toxic materials that the human system can't cope with, and it's having an effect at a genetic level. So we'll start with why I'm here, and most of you won't know, or maybe I'll do a show of hands, who has come to Paul Connick's talks in the past? Okay, there's some people who know some of the background. Others of you might not know that only 6 people in Western Australia are licensed to poisonous by deciding which towns are going to be fluoridated, which are not going to be fluoridated, and they are largely unknown to the public. So I thought I'd point out 3 of the known names so you can take up the matter with these individuals, because under the Western Australian Fluoridation Act, they are given specific immunity from liability. But I'd invite you, and if you know any lawyers, to consider the fine print of the Act, because it's a requirement of the Act that these people act in good faith. And what has happened historically in Western Australia, especially since Fluoride-free Western Australia was formed, over 45 formal representations have been made to this committee. The committee has refused to meet with any delegates from the organisation, which now has 3,900 members brought in, and it's a disgrace, it's immoral, and in my view they should be compelled to act in good faith. So if we have now a look at an example of community resistance, I'm going to be speaking in Mora, and already the state government has sent its best man, Dr. Richard Theobald, to try to persuade this council that fluoridation of their water supply would be a really good thing. And the response of the council is there for you to see in this copy of their official minutes from November last year. They basically told Mr. Theobald to go back to Perth and take his fluoride with him. And unanimous. So I congratulate Mora councillors. They're obviously on the ball and they're very reasonable. They're saying any decision to fluoridate would have to be dependent on evidence that it's safe and effective. So here's a little cartoon. It's got some errors in it, but it was produced as just an example. By the way, nearly all of the graphic material I'm using today is borrowed from 3 contributions of community activists around the world who are campaigning against fluoridation. 95% of the world's population is not fluoridated, only 5% is, and the fluoride industry is trying to push new markets, and I'll have a bit more to discuss why later. So this is just an interesting thing of the young lady talking to her knowledgeable mum, and every statement there is correct, even with the spelling mistakes. I'll be pointing out later how fluoride is so deadly to your whole system. Every organ in the body is affected. So let's concentrate on the room, and or maybe I'll kill the. Do you think I should kill the top lights? I just realised it's a bit of. That's better. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the fetus, of course. Now, in the past, pro-fluoridation enthusiasts have deliberately targeted means of increasing massively the amount of fluoride going into the developing fetus. It's quite fascinating to go back and read the literature from the 1970s. And when you do so, you can find damage done and known to be done deliberately. But here we look at some natural fluoridation data, and this figure is a Chinese study. It shows, compares control levels in the high fluoride area with the low fluoride area, and you can see that the serum level of fluoride in the mother goes up, and the more worryingly is that you can directly measure an increase of fluoride in the brain of the developing fetus. So this data has been published a number of years ago, but a lot of people ignore it because it came out of a non-English speaking country. Once again, you can get the data on these slides later and study them at your leisure. Going back to the placenta, this is from a publication where a commercial company was trying to market Enzifluor tablets, which were vitamin C, vitamin D, and calcium fluoride, and it receiving placentas and chopping them up into little pieces and doing statistical analysis of the fluoride distribution. They found actually that their product didn't dramatically increase the fluoride in the placenta or the baby. However, they later found that their control group, in inverted commas, had been contaminated by an unknown fluoride source, so it wasn't a genuine comparison. But they weren't deterred, and so they then went on to substitute sodium fluoride, which is more soluble than the calcium product they were using, and they were delighted that they could dramatically increase the fluoride going into the placenta and the baby. And here's just a comparison chart. I won't dwell on it, but they were comparing sodium monofluorophosphate, which was used in a number of toothpaste. You've probably all, at some stage, been exposed to some of that sort of toothpaste when you were young. Now, the interesting thing is that these Enzi-Fluor tablets were the ones that I was talking about before, where they were chopping up placentas to see how effective they were. And on the bottle, it says that they shouldn't be taken except on medical or dental prescription. And it also says in quite fine print at the bottom that where the fluoride content of the water supply exceeds 0.3 parts per million fluoride, the daily use of their product is definitely contraindicated. In other words, don't use our product if your water contains 0.3 parts per million fluoride, because it would be dangerous. I should go back, sorry. The other part of that story was that in 1975, the United States Food and Drug Administration acted, which is unusual for it because normally it's a bystander, and it persuaded 35 companies to remove this sort of product from the American market because it was just too dangerous and didn't work in the manner that it was claimed. So some of you may know, or even perhaps some of you were given fluoride supplement tablets as children. That's now recognised as not going to do anything for you, and it's dangerous. However, internationally, there's still people trying to make a buck out of selling such supplement tablets. And so this is one from New Zealand. It may well be a licensed product from the original company, but it also has the warning, don't use this product if you've got 0.3 parts per million fluoride in your water, and if you're pregnant, that's a no-no. Now, talking about some common images, because mothers, of course, have been persuaded to use supplements because they've been told that it's going to be good for their baby's teeth. This is an example of Australian government deliberate misrepresentation. They tell mothers, and using pictures like this, which are often published on in newspapers and magazines, that if you don't give fluoride to your children, they'll have teeth looking like this. And this is corruption at its worst, because this is a picture of the teeth of a baby that has been left with a sweetened bottle to suck all day. And what happens is the bacteria gobble up the available sugars, convert to acids, dissolve the teeth. But you'll notice the dramatic point of the picture is that the upper teeth only have been affected, the lower teeth are fine. And that's proof that this has got nothing to do with fluoride in the water. What that shows is the lower teeth are always bathed in the baby's saliva. So the body produces more saliva to try to wash away toxins from our mouth. However, because of the attitude of the child's head, the bathing saliva can't get to the top teeth, but it can to the bottom. You've probably seen this or a similar slide before, produced by Fluoride Action Network. Once again, mothers are told you have to have fluoride to give your babies better teeth. It's complete rubbish. This compares red and blue for non-fluoridated or fluoridated and non-fluoridated areas around the world historically. What is observed is that human beings' teeth in general in all of those countries has been improving steadily in terms of less decayed, missing or filled teeth. So clearly fluoride, if you look at that, is having no influence at all. Now, this sort of information is picked up